I mean, I picked Arsenal to win the Premier League. I did it with the caveat that maybe they could find some consistency. But until they do, I don't know. I said they can win it easily. They've just got to find that consistency.
As for City, though, Wes, this is another failed attempt to really take a step forward and reclaim their title. To not even get a point when you have that much of possession, that much of the ball, and to have that kind of quality on the field. Aguero was healthy, and this was his first match back in a while. He played a lot. Kevin De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling, I believe, came on at halftime. When you have this kind of talent, and you start thinking, maybe it's not just the talent, though. Maybe, I believe Ian Dark actually put this forward on Twitter. How does playing for Pellegrini now affect them when there's a somewhat, feeling around the club that he's gone after this year, possibly to be replaced by Pep Guardiola? How is that? Do you think that it's affecting the mindset of this club?
Well, that's exactly what I was about to get to. Where are they mentally right now? Because I mean, you're basically what we're hearing right now is no matter what you do, if you're Manuel Pellegrini, no matter what you do, you're gone because we're all in on Pep Guardiola.
Right.
So, I mean, those players, no matter how good they are, it's got to be going through their heads. Well, he's not going to be our manager next year. I mean, I'm not saying Raheem Sterling's thinking this, but, if you're Raheem Sterling, you're thinking, man, it would be cool to play for Pep.
Yeah.
I wonder what it would be like to play for Pep. Torre sitting there thinking, am I going to have a job for Pep? That's human nature. And unfortunately, I think that's going to cost City the title, even though they may still have the most talented roster. It's going to cost them the title because I don't think they don't have the mentality to win the thing. We talk about Arsenal being up and down. They're nothing compared to what City does. So, I think the best thing to say about the Premier League this year, Ed, it's a very incomplete league.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I think I'm going to look at it. It's so incomplete. It's so unbalanced. Hey, like we said about Liverpool are an unbalanced team. This is a really unbalanced league this year.
Yeah, it's a league where we've talked about it, has a lot of parity, a lot of very good, not great teams. All due respect to Leicester and Arsenal, but it's just there's too many head-scratching losses at times, too many things that should be shocking and just quite frankly aren't this year. And not that this City Arsenal match should be necessarily one of them. Both teams very, very good. But you just look at other results across the league, like Man United should not be losing to Norwich at home, despite how good Norwich have been at times this year. Watford's rise up. It's, as someone I believe once said, it's not enough for you to succeed, others must fail. And that's kind of how, it is. Watford wouldn't be as high as they were if other teams weren't also doing worse. Like a Southampton, a Swansea. So it's been a very, very interesting year here in the Barclays Premier League. And as of yet, although we've reached Christmas, we're not even halfway through, West, so I cannot even begin to imagine what the second half plus awaits for us in the next year.
There's literally no telling. I mean, as we said, by the time this podcast drops, everything could change.
That's true.
The Premier League, it has been so fluid this season. I mean, at this point, wouldn't be shocked to see Van Gaal let go. Wouldn't be shocked to see Pellegrini be let go if things don't get turned around there sometime in the future. About the only thing you can guarantee is death, taxes, and Arsene Wenger.
Yep. At this point,
he ain't going nowhere. We'll say that he's not going anywhere during the season. We know that much.
I can't wait for the moment when Arsene Wenger's tenure at Arsenal is greater than everyone else's combined tenure in the Premier League for the other 19 managers.
It's getting very close, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
He's getting closer. But I mean, that's the thing. The Premier League no longer has the best teams, but by God, from top to bottom, almost anyone can beat anyone. Sorry, Aston Villa, we of course are not including you by any means.
No.
But almost anyone can beat anyone in this league. And that's something that you can't say in Spain, you can't say in Germany, you can't say in Italy. You can't say it in France. But by God, that's the Premier League. Week in, week out, everything can be turned on its head.
That's why we love our Super.
You can go from calm to crisis, back to calm, all in the space of less than a month.
And some have this month. So we're going to get you now your fixture list for the next week or so here in the Barclays Premier League up to our next pod. This Saturday, after you've unwrapped gifts on Christmas Day, throw them all out and spend Saturday just watching a full, and when I say full, I mean full, day of Premier League football. That starts at 7:45 a.m. when Manchester United heads to the Britannia to take on sexy Stoke. At 10 a.m. you then have seven choices in matches, whether that's AFC Bournemouth hosting Crystal Palace, West Ham United going to Aston Villa, Chelsea hosting Watford. That's going to be a fun game. Liverpool versus Leicester. Ooh, that's going to be a good one at Anfield. Manchester City looking to rebound at home against Sunderland. Swansea going for at least a point at home against West Brom. And Tottenham gets suddenly winning Norwich at 10 a.m. at White Hart Lane. At 12:30, it's going to be Newcastle hosting Everton. And at 2:45, that's right, 2:45 Eastern Time on this Saturday, Southampton tries to get a win against Arsenal. So this Saturday, all Premier League teams are playing. Set your day aside, put grandma in the attic. It's time to watch some Premier League football.
That's right, folks. What else are you going to do on Boxing Day?
Seriously, what else? Are you going to fight somebody? No, you're going to watch Premier League football. However, because this is the crazy holiday period, there's 8 more matches on Monday. So skip work. Don't go. And just watch Premier League football. At 10 a.m. on Monday, you get Crystal Palace Swansea, Everton Stoke, Norwich Aston Villa, Watford Tottenham. Not looking forward to going to Vicarage Road. West Brom Newcastle, Arsenal AFC Bournemouth up the cherries. That one's actually 12:30. Also 12:30, Manchester United Chelsea. That match looked a lot better 5 months ago. And
But Ed, what if suddenly Van Hal is given just one more match?
Oh, yes. Oh, that would be perfect.
Playing Chelsea, trying to fend off Mourinho getting his job.
Narrative. And also 12:30, West Ham takes on Southampton. On Tuesday, December 29th, it is Leicester versus Manchester City. Can Manchester chase down Leicester? That's not the storyline we were looking at when we made that one. And on Wednesday, this will come after we pod because, again, next week we're also doing it a day early. It will be Sunderland-Liverpool. So, Wes.
Oh, Jesus. Thank you.
There you go. We're looking out for you. We're looking out for you.
We get Leicester and then Sunderland. So, top of the table, almost all the way down to bottom of the table. It'll definitely be a big week. That will also be some really interesting midweek matches.
Mm-hmm.
Is guess what, folks? This is what we're talking about when we say you've got to have some depth.
Yes.
Because this is where squad rotation is going to really come into play for you.
Yes, have fun playing with one-day recovery. It's like Sunday fun days if they were on Saturdays. As we take a look at the table heading into Christmas Day, Leicester, the Foxes, they had 38 points, are atop like a star upon the tree. Arsenal are in second at 36 points. Manchester City are in third with 32. Tottenham currently in that logjam for fourth, beating Manchester United, and Crystal Palace on goal differential. Watford 1 point back in seventh with 28 points. At the bottom of your heart, the relegation zone, in 16th and 17th with 17 points each, is Norwich and Newcastle. Swansea are in 18th with 15. Sunderland is in 19th with 12. And in 20th with 7 points is Aston Villa. So as we detour now to news and notes in the soccer world, we'd like to remind you that this is the A Foreign Affair podcast with myself, Edward Green, and my call, Wes Bradshaw, here being presented to you by NGSC Sports and NGSCSports.com. We never stop. What may have stopped, though, it looks now as a done deal, is the search for Jose Mourinho's replacement at Chelsea. It is going to be Guus Hiddink. The goose is loose, as Wes texted me earlier this week. He is going to come in at least until the end of the season. Of course, most recently, Hiddink was in charge of the Netherlands team for half of their Euro 2016 qualifying campaign that, of course, ended with the Dutch side missing out on the tournament. Wes Hiddink also no stranger, though, to Stamford Bridge. But with the likes of Diego Simeone possibly leaving Atletico in the summer to maybe pursue jobs on other shores, how safe is Hiddink?
I don't think Hiddink is looking at this as a permanent position.
He's a caretaker.
Well, basically with Goose Hiddink, I think what happened with him was, he just had the disastrous run with the Dutch national team. From some things I read, he did not want to go out on that sour note.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he understands what this is. He's going to have about 5 months at Chelsea to try to get them turned around and at least have a respectable end of the season. And for Hiddink, that may actually kind of be a cap on his career as it is. So I don't think anyone is seeing this as a long-term solution, especially when Pep Guardiola has pretty much announced that he will be heading to a new club next year from Munich. And, of course, Chelsea's right in there. I mean, they are right in there in the Guardiola sweepstakes. Diego Simeone, as you mentioned, he may be ready to start looking for a new challenge. There is somewhat of a glass ceiling in La Liga. No one's saying you can't win the league every once in a blue moon. But when you don't have the financial muscle of the two teams ahead of you and it's a significant difference,
Mm-hmm.
it does make it tough at the end of the day. You come to the Premier League, even if you're not the big dog on the block, with all the money, you're still right up there.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got money in the Premier League now. You go to Chelsea and, it would be a Chelsea looking to basically rebuild the brand. So Simeone would come in, and whoever gets that job most likely going to have a lot of freedom to reshape the team and their image. So I don't think they're looking at Hiddink as anything permanent. It's definitely a caretaker's role. I think I really wonder if right now he has been brought in and said, all right, just get us out of what people perceive as a relegation battle.
Yeah.
Just because we don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And if you can get us into Europe, that's a bonus.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, and I mean, here's the deal: it's not like Chelsea would have any problem attracting a big name manager, even without Champions League football next year.
Absolutely. Someone that they will not be able to hire because he is now off the market. Former Real Madrid manager Carlo Ancelotti will be replacing Pep Guardiola at Bayern Munich at the end of this season. Wes, I think this is a fantastic hire for a club that has a lot of big stars, just like Real Madrid did. This is a man, almost kind of like Phil Jackson in the NBA. He knows how to manage personalities. He knows how to manage a team of big stars, and he can come right into that Bayern side and really just sort of bring his dynamics and his sort of attacking offensive personality with all the players they have, like Arjen Robben and Robert Lewandowski and another